Introducing Indian River Connections, a collaboration to spotlight Indian River's characters. Interviews, biographies, life stories, and projects. These are the people behind the scenes. Business owners, entrepreneurs, journalists, activists. Extraordinary everyday citizens, each with a story.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joann Binford, and welcome to the Connecting People and Places podcast brought to you by Indian River Connections. Today, let's get educated on the SOE website. Our goal is to prepare our residents for the county local elections for 2026. With that being said, local elections affect all residents of Indian River County directly, whether it's garbage services, sewer, code enforcement, or business regulations. Someone in some way locally will feel the impact, either positively or negatively, in response to the decisions made by local representatives. Today, we have a very special guest, Leslie Swan, the Supervisor of Elections. Today, Leslie will discuss the functions of the Supervisor of Elections office, what they do, and how their website can help you answer questions residents may have. So let's get to it. Thank you, Leslie. Welcome aboard.
Oh, Joann, thanks so much for inviting me on your podcast.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you on board. You have been our Supervisor of Elections for 17 years. Is that right?
No, I've been working at the office since 2004, so it's been a while.
Yeah, and you've done a great job. You know, that is one of my favorite places to go. Everybody is so happy to go to work for the Supervisor of Elections. Every time you walk in, it's a smiling face, a helper. You know, it's just such a positive atmosphere. I want to thank you.
I am truly blessed. I have the best staff. And like you said, they all do love coming to work. You know, in elections, when you come to work here, you either love it or you're gone because you're like, this is not for me. But it gets in our blood.
Yeah, you have your roller coaster moments, don't you? When the season kicks in, it's like high energy. It's nonstop, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You're on a continual high during election time.
Yeah, so we are going to cover some subjects here. Hopefully this will help our citizens and our newcomers that come to Indian River County that need to either register to vote or need to know who's running for office. So let's get started on that. Here is the page. Let's get you up there. Hold on. So here is the page that shows all the tabs where you have the voter registration tab, election information. This is where all the people can find the candidates.
Yes, it is.
Polling places and election work. It's really a easy site to navigate.
It really is. We get a lot of compliments on our website every day, and we try to have it so that voters can go first to the website so that eliminates some of the phone calls that come to our office.
So let me put down here, and this is going to give everybody information on where to go. So visit voteindianriver.gov, and this is the office phone number, and there's also an office email on there for everybody. So
Right.
Let's take a look at these office positions that are going to be open. Now, when do they start applying, and when will they show up on the SOE website?
As soon as a candidate fills out their paperwork, and it's basically two pieces of paper. It is a DSDE-9, which would be a form where they would fill out the candidates. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, somebody just came in the office. It would be the DSDE-9, which is a form they fill out stating what office they want to run for, and they'll designate their campaign treasurer and campaign depository, and then a DSDE 84, which is a form which is called the Statement of Candidate, which means that you've read all of the information in Chapter 106 of the Florida statutes.
Do the candidates get a handbook?
Oh, definitely. When you come in, we give you all kinds of information because we know that, especially first-time candidates, they don't know hardly anything about running a campaign, and there's so much information. So we like to provide as much information as possible. Plus, we also have our candidate coordinator where you can pick up the phone at any time. Whenever you have a question, any candidate, we say don't hesitate to ask, because we would rather help you get the correct information than sometimes they try to think they know what's best or what's correct according to the Florida statutes, and it really isn't. So it's easiest to read the information we give you, and if you still have questions, pick up the phone and call us.
Yeah, you guys have a really good communication system there at the office. And what about the register to vote or update your voter record? Do you run into a lot of problems with this, or do you find that citizens really need to have help with this?
No, for the most part, most people, when they go to register to vote, it's when they go to the Department of Motor Vehicles, when they either get their driver's license or they update or, renew their driver's license. That's where the vast majority of people go to register to vote. They can also come into the office, fill out a paper application, or they can register to vote online at our website at voteindianriver.gov.
So if they click on this register to vote, will that take them to the vote?
That will take them to an application to register to
Okay.
vote. But the main thing, if you register to vote online, you are going to have you have to have both your driver's license number and your last 4 digits of your social security number, because you can't go any further in the application if you don't provide those two. And the reason the driver's license is because we capture your signature from when you go to register to get your driver's license, so they can electronically send it over to the Supervisor of Elections office. Otherwise, if we don't have your driver's license information, we wouldn't have your signature. So that's
Okay.
why you have to have both.
Right. And I see down here they could also print a PDF and fill that out and bring that into the office.
Absolutely, yes. And a lot of those people print it out because they don't have their Florida driver's license and their social that are in our records.
Okay, great. My partner has joined us. Let's bring him on up. Hi, how are you, John? This is John Karapi. He's one of our partners with Indian River Connections and the People and Places.
How are you?
How you doing?
I am well today.
So let's
Good.
move on to vote by mail. Because I know that some people had an issue with vote by mail because they kept thinking, I already signed up vote by mail last election. Why do I have to do it again? That's a new law that went into place, isn't it?
I'm really glad you brought that up, because the legislature did change the law. And it used to be you could sign up for a vote by mail ballot through 2 general election cycles, which is 4 years. And then we used to have a checkbox. And if you checked that box, you would continue receiving mail ballots. Well, they changed the law after the 2022 election. And so we had about, it was like 45,000 vote by mail requests. And as of January 1st, 2023, they all expired. So we here in Indian River County made a huge effort, and we're doing it again because we just had everyone fall off the list again after the 2024 elections. It's only good through 1 general election cycle now, which is 2 years. So what we've been doing at the office is this year we have about 23,000 email addresses for folks that fell off the vote by mail list. So we've sent those out, and then there's about 3,000 additional people who did not have an email address. So we are actually calling them on the phone, and they are blown away. They're like, "You're really calling me to renew this?" So we're trying the best we can to get people back on that vote by mail list, because voting by mail is so convenient. We send those ballots out to our military and overseas 45 days before the election. And for the stateside civilians, they go out 40 days before the election. And so you have a lot of time to, mull over your ballot, and then you can either mail it back to us, or during the early voting period, you can bring it to one of our secure ballot intake stations, or you can walk it into our office.
Wow, that's great. But that's a lot of work too, to try to get everybody back on board. So I'm hoping that, by doing this podcast, we're going to reach a lot of those groups out there, because we're going to be on social media pushing this out, getting everybody ready for that 2026 election, and to start using that SOE website to go there, look up your candidate, see, they can even look at their funding, their financials, and check that out and see where they're going. And it's really a great website. It has so much information for the citizen, and I really want to get that out there for you guys. And they can also track their ballot status as well.
That's where I was going next. You have all these people who are afraid of the post office. And I have to tell you, when we mail those ballots out, I usually get my ballot within 2 days, which is pretty quick. So it takes a little longer for those that are going out of the state. But you can track your ballot. You just go on to our website and you put in your identifying information. You can look up the day you requested it, the day we mailed it, the day it came back to our office. And if there were any issues with your ballot, let's say you forgot to sign the certificate envelope, or we feel like your signature doesn't match, you can be notified of that issue by going on our website. But we also, whenever there's an issue with your ballot, it's the same day. We either email you, call you, because we have a way in Florida, you can cure your ballot, the signature, if it's missing, or if we feel it doesn't match, then you can fill out a cure affidavit form. And as long as you get that form back to us with a piece of your identification, a copy of it, by the second day after the election, your ballot will count.
That's great.
And it's not, our staff kind of flags the ballots that we think the signature is questionable. It is not my staff that decides whether the ballot is accepted or rejected. It is a canvassing board. And the canvassing board is made up of a county court judge. It's usually the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, unless they're on the ballot, and myself. And we pull up all your different signatures on file and try to see if there's one with a similarity. And then at that point, the second day after the election, if we feel it matches, then we go ahead and count the ballot. If we feel it doesn't match, or if the signature is missing and the voter didn't cure it, their signature deficiency, then it's not counted.
Yeah, that's probably a busy time. Sounds like a pizza workday. Where you're sitting there for hours and bring us lunch. We're still busy.
That's true.
But, people don't realize my team at the elections office, we verify every one of those signatures on those ballots. Some of them think a machine does it. Some of them think we don't do it, but we look at every single signature.
Yeah, that's really important to know. And then Florida is also a closed primary election. Can you explain that to people? Because some people just don't get it.
That's probably the biggest issue we have during primary elections. People move to the state of Florida, they register to vote, and they don't realize we're a closed primary state. And what that means is only during primary elections, you have to vote. Well, you'll get the ballot for whichever party you're registered. So if you register as a Democrat, you will get the ballot with the Democrat candidates on it. If you're registered Republican, you'll get the ballot with the Republican candidates. And if you're registered no party affiliation, you will only have the races that are not partisan on your ballot. And a lot of people come to the state and think, well, I can just pick whichever ballot that I want. And that is not the case in Florida. And well, gosh, we've been doing this since the 1930s. I think it is a closed primary election state. So that always gives us a little bit of issues. So we try to get the word out before every primary election to make sure if there's a special candidate that you want to vote for and they're registered in one of the political parties or a minor party, you have to make sure that you are registered with that party in order to see that candidate on your ballot.
Right. And the primaries are important because it helps push that candidate to the general election. So,
yes, they are.
So if they're worried about changing their party at that time, they're pretty much hurting the person that they want to vote, because their vote really speaks volumes when it's a lot of, for example, you could have a lot of Democrats that want an independent that's running, but if they can't vote for that independent, they can't would they be able to vote for that independent?
Well, the independents, any minor party or no party affiliation candidate or a write-in candidate, they all go straight to the general election.
Okay, that's good information. So
Yeah,
then
so
that means
it's mostly Republican ballot or a Democrat ballot. One time there were two candidates from a minor party, so we had to have a fourth ballot style, because then we had the Republican, Democrat, I think it was the Green Party, and no party affiliation.
right. So if I got a question, if all of the candidates running in the primary are one party, do you still have to change your party to vote for them in the primary?
No. That is called a universal primary contest. So in Florida, if all the candidates are the same party affiliation, that means the winner is going to be selected at the primary. So it opens it up, and everyone, no matter how they're registered to vote, gets to vote in that race, because it's over after the primary.
Right. Very good. Very good. I wanted to ask that question because a lot of people were wondering about that and didn't really know the answer to that. So that's good information. Also, what kind of voting system are we using? A lot of people don't know what we're using as a system.
Okay, so a little education. In the state of Florida, we have our own, it's in Tallahassee with the Division of Elections. They have their own group that certifies voting equipment. And we cannot buy any type of voting equipment unless it's certified by the state. Currently, there are two vendors. One is Dominion Voting Systems, and one is ES&S. And the great majority of counties have the ES&S system. The entire state of Florida votes using a paper ballot, because you've heard a lot about everyone talking about electronic voting machines. Well, everyone that votes with a paper ballot, whether you use the machine that's in front of you, the DS200 precinct scanner and tabulator, and then we have one other unit called the Express Vote, which we have to have one at every single polling location, because this unit is designed for voters with disabilities. If you're sight impaired, it has a touch screen. It has if you are paralyzed, you can hook up a sip and puff machine or rocker paddles. So it allows a voter, no matter what their disability is, to vote independently. And their ballot's a little bit different. It looks like a long card that's blank. And they insert it into the Express Vote machine. They make their selections, and then they, cast their ballot, and the card comes out, and they have to deliver it into the tabulation system, that the DS200. So it's really a cool device. And a lot of people say, well, if you can't see what you're voting, how are we going to know it marked the right choices? Well, it's really smart. You can stick the card back into the unit, and it will read back to you all the choices that you made.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
So the advantage of paper ballots is that you can always have something to refer back to when you have a recount. If it goes down to a manual recount, you can actually count the people's choices.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, because we use the paper ballots to stick in the machines.
Mhm.
We fill those out and then they go in, and each ballot has like a code on it.
Are those the ballots? Do they have a watermark on them? I've heard Trump talk about watermarks on the paper ballots. Is that true? Is
No,
that something
no,
that can be done?
no. We don't have any numbers, anything, because we don't want to know who cast what ballot.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Okay.
the only thing they have is around them is timing marks, the little dots, and that is how they start to read the ballot.
oh. So the timing marks are just like the time of day the ballot
Like,
went in?
no. It's just the word timing marks. It tells what
Oh,
ballot style it is and that we actually created the ballot.
oh, that's great. So also on your website, there is a location where all the people can take a look and see who their local representatives are and their state representatives. Let's show
Right.
that. Yeah, so
That
that's
is pretty new to us with the photos on there, and I love it because you kind of put a name with the face, so you can see who are the elected officials from the president all the way down. Not all of them have pictures, but you can see who all the constitutional officers are, who your commissioner is for the Board of County Commissioners and what district they represent, and then it school board members, and then it goes down to we have some special districts. We don't have those elected officials pictures on the website, but it tells you who is on the hospital district and what seat they represent, mosquito control district, soil and water district.
mhm.
So it kind of tells all your representatives.
Yeah, I like that. I don't remember seeing that before, but I really like it. It's a real clean look at it. We've got school board in there, the Indian River County Commissions, like you said, the judicial courts, all the names there. Wow. So
Yes.
I like that. Judicial, there goes Robbie Brackett, Aaron Grawl, agriculture.
And we have to get the picture of the new attorney general up there. And
Who's
then,
there? Is that how you
and we
say
got
it?
it. Oh, wait, I missed it.
And you got Herodopoulos, Senator, and there goes the President of the United States. That is really wonderful. Now, this is the address of the office so people can see it and write it down and take a look. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Leslie? That
Yes, you were talking about one of our tabs has the candidates that have filed to run. And can you pull that one up there under
campaign?
campaign? Yeah. So that you can find out
Is
what
it
candidates have filed. You can find out their campaign reports and see who's donated to their campaigns. A lot of them
that
where
would
it
be
says
here,
financial reports and profiles. And you can also, we give the candidate an opportunity if they want to put up a picture and a bio about themselves, because we get a lot of people from the public calling saying, I don't know anything about these candidates. And where do I find information? And we say that, it's available on our website. It's what the candidate themselves has input onto the website, but at least it gives them the little general information. And sometimes the candidate posts a picture, so that's helpful as well.
do we have anybody in there now? Or no, it's too early?
We have one person that's running for 2028, and that would be Deborah Cooney, who's running for sheriff. So it's not even 2026, it's 2028. And
Oh,
if you look, if you go up a little ways, people, let's see where it is. Okay, right where it says current reporting period,
right.
20, does that say 2026 general election? But if you hit that little down arrow, it will go back a lot of elections, and you can look up who ran in those elections and look at all of their campaign reports too, with just that drop down menu.
Right. We could do an example right here. where you can see all of
Yep,
their,
that's
and
a prior one.
if we click on their name, like Deborah
Yep.
Cooney,
Yep.
and then it'll take us to the Deborah Cooney and all these
This is when-
months.
Right. This is
Right
when she
here.
ran the last time.
Right. So we can look at all those month reports there. Is
People
it like that?
who's
There we go.
donating to what candidate.
So you can see all of those are the financials that they have to report.
Right.
And it's, I like this. It looks, you know, you can look that up and you can see all their, how they're doing.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we're in the process of updating our website. So we're trying to keep a lot of it the same. So it may have a little different look, but I think it's going to take us another couple months to get that all wrapped up.
Well, great job. I hope that everybody has received enough information from this so that they can get out and vote and look at our candidates that are running. And I'm looking forward to us having 40% participation.
Wouldn't that be great? I don't know why people in primary elections, because a lot of that is local people, and that's what affects you on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, it does.
And a lot of what drives voter turnout is the candidate themselves. So we can reach out to voters till we're blue in the face, but sometimes they just don't, you know, go out to vote. And it's very disheartening because it's as much work to put on a primary election as it is to put on a general election.
Yes, it is. It is. And it's so important. I'm really hoping that people will finally catch on to realize, you know, when things are happening in their community and if they complain about it, it's like, hey, did you vote in the primaries? You know, did you vet your candidates? Did you participate? It's really important for everybody to participate because our county is basically our house.
It is. And it's just, it's so important. But sometimes people aren't interested, and I don't understand it.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and sharing this information. It's really important to get out to our residents and hopefully get them more engaged in our primary elections. Thank you again, Leslie. This is Leslie Swan, folks, from the Supervisor of Elections. If you have any questions, please call the office. They have the nicest staff there. You might just want to call them to put a smile on your face. They're so nice.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I always love talking about elections.
Well,
And Leslie,
thank you.
also keep in mind that we do another podcast called the Board Report, which talks about these different boards and things of that nature. And so down the road, when new candidates file to run, they're welcome to come on that show and tell people and why they're running and what their background is in that nature too. So keep that in mind as well.
Well, that's really important because a lot of people don't have any idea what these special district offices do. And that would be really informative.
Yeah, we're actually going to have Ryan Butler on Thursday, and he's going to talk about all the services that his office offers. And there's one service that I wish I knew that his office offered was when I was going through my divorce, the legal counseling that they give to help with the forms and filing, because I had to represent myself. And I think that's just such a plus for women and people going through legal forms. Being able to find help. So he's going to be on Thursday.
It's an amazing service that this county offers.
Yeah.
Access to justice, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yep. So we will, I'll be seeing you in the office then, Leslie, and tell all your
anytime you want.
Yeah, tell all your ladies.
You.
Yes, and tell your ladies I say hello and love the work that they do. They are the most pleasant people. And, you know, it really speaks volumes, Leslie, when you can walk into an office and see the workers and they're always happy. They're always smiling. They want to be there. It says a lot about yourself, Leslie, you know, because those are your staffers, you know.
Well, as I always say, I'm truly blessed.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to take you off screen and we're going to move forward with a message that I have to give. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Joann. Bye-bye.
That was great. So anyway, guys, I wanted to inform everybody of the Cinco de Mayo fiesta That's taking place May 2nd at 7 p.m. and it ends at 11 p.m. And that's put on by the Hispanic Conservatives of Indian River County, and it's $65. And give Sandra a call at 772-713-8528. That's 772-713-8528. And I encourage all people to participate in the primary elections. I also encourage people to please jump into the race. I mean, right, John? It is so important for people to get involved in these primary elections.
It is 100%. I mean, that's why, I said we do the board report. So, I mean, we give some kind of information out there for what's going on these races that people don't really pay attention to. Like myself in the past, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to that stuff. And then till I got involved, 5 years ago. So now we're putting that out there. So yeah, you have to get involved in your backyard. The swamp runs deep and it runs back in our backyard too. So that's the whole point, is we have to make sure.
It really does.
We don't
it
allow
really
it.
Does.
Yeah, it does. I learned that the hard way. But it does. So once you know about it, then we can do something about it. So that's what we do.
I know we have to make a change. And I really, like I said earlier, we've been in the 30 percentile for people participating in the primary elections. And we really need to see you guys come out in droves. I mean, we have more Republicans and Republican voters now than we had before. And if we get our numbers up, we could probably make some change in the election.
I mean, but some of those Republicans are rhinos too. So I mean,
yeah, some of them are.
So it doesn't. It's a good sign that maybe there is more of them, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, maybe that's not so good after all. So I don't know how to look at it anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but everybody remember, the board report comes on every Friday at 7 p.m. and that's local information, school board, fentanyl. We've got all kinds of topics that we talk about that people are advocates for, and they are bringing information to us so that we know what's important for our county and what's going on, things that we are not researching because we're busy. We've got lives too, but we have people out there that are advocating for us and bringing us the information. And you'll find that on the board report, right, John?
Oh yeah. 7:00 every Friday night.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to close it out.
All right. Good
And
show. Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let's close it out.
Introducing Indian River Connections, a collaboration to spotlight Indian River's characters. Interviews, biographies, life stories, and projects. These are the people behind the scenes. Business owners, entrepreneurs, journalists, activists. Extraordinary everyday citizens, each with a story.